Hey everybody, this is PD from the Spin Rack. We also have
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
today we are coming back to you talking about the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, and which you also have your, what's that thing? You have your Spider-Man No Way Home, which is biting off of the Into the Spider-Verse. But since Sony probably wanted them to
Oh,
get their character,
I said,
huh?
oh, we're going way back. Biting, biting.
But yeah, they decided. But since they were in talks with Sony, and Sony always wanted to do a Sinister Six to kind of get the best of both worlds, Into the Spider Verse and Sinister Six. But that's going to turn. Let's see if we can get our Spider Man juices flowing with Across the Spider Verse. You ready?
Ready to rock. Bad, bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby. I'm a wreck. Crashing my place, baby. You're right. Needless to say, I'm keeping her in check.
Miles, you got a minute? Oh, what? Whoa. When? How did you get? How have you been? It's a long story. Is this the room you grew up in? It is, but my dorm room is very adult. Right. No, of course. Hey, are these your drawings? What? No, no. I missed you too. Okay. So, what are you doing here? I mean, I thought I'd never see you again. Want to get out of here? I'm grounded. Bummer. What? Is Spider-Man grounded? I mean, I.
So, what do you have to say about that one?
I only have one or two criticisms that, might be considered nitpicks. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to seeing this sequel.
I You want to say them?
No, I wanted to get all the good stuff out first from both of us before I decide to do any nitpicks. But I the intro music, I really like that particular that song. I really enjoyed the first one. So I'm looking at a lot of the trappings that I'm seeing with what we're seeing with this particular trailer. That doesn't give away. I don't think it really gives away anything.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the stuff that we're seeing here, we already knew was coming down the pike with the last movie. But the execution looks the execution looks the same. The animation, still looks like it's going to be top. And just that little bit of interaction, the interaction between, Miles and Gwen, you know, is pretty good too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. And I'm very happy that it's going to be two movies and not just one.
For me, I don't think I have any issues besides what's up with the dude?
What, the hair?
He got the conch in there now. Is it going to go to special ed? He says it's a special ed in what's the name? So oh,
You're wrong,
man, it's like
man. You're wrong.
what he got the con what's going on here? I thought he had the nappy do, he had the natural. And now look at him. He's out there like
No, he got
oh
older.
he don't get
He
no
got older. When you get older, your hair gets more processed. You know that.
Jairo, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know. It's speaking
Oh man,
special ed.
then you had to go over there and hit special ed one more time because it's not like special ed hasn't been hit enough over the years.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him, but it's like, yo, he already came. He already had. That's how he grew up. Now, Miles, he's like, you know what? Going to mom's hair salon. I don't sure what her job is. Getting the hookup. Getting kind of
But here's
hot.
the thing:
Getting kind of
now
hot.
when you're younger, it's cool. You can be cute, and because you're unkempt and you're not really combing your hair, you get a little bit older. You realize, hey, I'm not gonna get these girls. I gotta comb this hair. So we finally see what his hair looks like when he combs it out.
Yeah, yeah, but the animation is incredible, and I always you had to say that. What was it? A friend of mine, he was talking about how they did the process of doing it on the differently than the way most animation houses do it. Like since it's in ones and zeros, that sort of thing, like doing on a different sort of pace. But they're adding a lot of stuff that's just cool. Like most of the time, people try to add the comic effects and the holes and all that stuff and the four color printing, and it sucks. And they just come in there and kill it, and then they go with the bare bones stuff when you get to this section here, and it's just gorgeous. So I mean, like, I don't know. There's nothing for me. Just like I mean, I'm not. I wasn't as far as the comic book. I had a lot of struggles with the process, and even with the idea of Spider Gwen, even though she got bigger shoulders than Miles here. But it's just look like it's just gonna be a fun romp. So let's, I'm with it.
Yeah, the big thing that stood out for me is that the sequence that we just saw was the same sequence from the end of the first movie, and he's still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing it, and he's okay. He's in college now, and I do not. I mean, okay, I understand why they do it, but the fixation with aging these kids up so quickly,
Yes, yeah,
they don't get any time to be a kid.
yeah.
They get no time to be a kid, and I get it. You want to do the romance stuff. You don't want to show kids kissing or anything of that nature because we're sexualizing the kids. Okay, no problem. But then you age them so quickly so you can sexualize them. You're still doing it. Like we just saw the last movie. He was like, it looked like he was just starting high school. It was just starting high school, and at the end of the movie, it looks like he's going to go on his next adventure. We barely get to see, that we don't get to see that aspect. We don't get to see him graduate. We don't get to see the sophomore jinx. None of that. Next time we see him, he's in high school. He's in college, and Gwen comes back, and of course, you can do the gags now with his, with his underwear floating around. He's embarrassed. That might be inappropriate if he's, still like 13 or what have you. People may talk about that, but I'm like, I don't know. I just don't understand what is the resistance to them being kids, for a while, at least a while longer. That's part of the draw of coming into Spider-Man. Spider-Man was still a kid. I was watching another show on the review, and the reviewer said, "Oh, this is great. We need more strong Black adults, especially after we lost Chadwick Boseman." And I'm like, and we don't need kids? I was like, and we don't need kids? We don't need kids. I was like, it's just the adults at the end of the day. That's the other thing I'm seeing, that a lot of people who come into this, they have lost any connection with being a kid. They have no inner child, and they just want the adult stuff. They don't want any of that. They don't want any of that stuff. So that part, I did have that. That for me is still a major criticism, because they showed that it works. That you can still have a real heavy hitting story and everything else, and you can still have all the trappings that will make it fun for kids. And now, if you're a kid and you were looking forward to, oh, this is great. I'm really connecting with this superhero because he's about the same age as me. Well, hey, what now? What now? This guy, he's literally, all grown up overnight since the last time we've seen it. So, that for me is a criticism that I have. But, they're not the sole ones guilty of that.
Well, you run into like, what is it, like the thing when I think it's in what's that movie? um, the Blues Brothers, where it's like the age, like you have the someone person in front be the oldest, the person in the back be the youngest. You all run into the door. If you keep aging the guys, the main characters aren't getting any older. Like you can add all this stuff to them, family and all this other stuff, but then at the same time, or grow, age up, Kitty Pride. Well, how does that work when Iceman is still like 21 or 22 or something like that? It just doesn't. They introduce more kids and new mutants, and then they just run into the same thing, just all running. So ultimately, that's why it's always fun looking at The Simpsons, because people say, "Oh, well, these are superheroes and this is that," but the basic play of the same idea that Superman's been around for like forever. Same with Batman and all this other stuff. The thing the way Simpsons was doing was like they would play to that at some point, like Superman would meet, like what's the name, John F. Kennedy, and then he'd meet Reagan. Like it's like that's what the thing is. The same with the Simpsons. The Simpsons would do that as it went along. Like Simpson, like what's the name, Homer, when he was young, he was in like a rock band, and then when next they go to him being young, he's in like the Color Me Bad type band. So it's just like as you keep going on, the scale just like comic book time should always sort of shift, where it's just like, yeah, there's some time that these guys have been around, but you don't need to just say, hey, college now, which I mean, Ditko and even Stan, Stan got to a point where he's like, don't age these guys anymore, and Roy and all the other guys are like, what do you mean? This is the next the way to do it. No, these guys are gonna be. We didn't know they're gonna be. He didn't say. I don't know. If he said that verbatim to them, but the idea is like these guys are gonna be around for a while, so we don't need to age these guys anymore. They can stay as they are. But, yeah, I mean, I get it. I'll say all that to say I agree. So, but it looks like fun, Make sure you have your.
The only other thing is I hate Gwen's haircut. I hate that haircut.
Well, it's not really Gwen. Yeah,
if you got a problem with the concholeum with Miles, I got a problem with that haircut. I don't believe that she would have maintained that haircut as long as she did. That same hairstyle, we're coming back all this particular time. I don't believe she would have maintained it. And then I'm looking at it, and it looks so butchered at the end of the day. I was like, you just can't. I was like, I hate at least from what I saw right there, hate the haircut. Hate it.
Well, that's the. I mean, I don't know. It's I definitely agree that it's just a hodgepodge of the young kid shaving the hair, that a little bit of mullet in there. There's got a lot of stuff going happen in there. So, and these characters, we only see them in one movie. Like the fact that we need to see them in the next one. I mean, I'm just repeating what you said, but yeah, I agree. So. Ultimately, yeah, it looked like we're going to have fun in this. Sony, they were able to do something with this character where we had with stuff we hadn't seen, and the character that I wasn't necessarily too keen on, as far as the at least his initial being brought into the Ultimate Universe. But they're doing some things and just saying, hey, you can have fun with these characters, and like the same way. Like the She-Hulk wasn't, blazing a trail initially, and then that's ultimately Marvel slowly started to find uses for her and doing so. But we're not talking about World War She-Hulk. That is something we're not saying. That is not furthering the character. That's taking the character way back. But anyway, it looks like fun. They had to have phony stuff in there. But sorry, what's that? What are you saying?
There's a World War She-Hulk.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way, and I looked it up, and the art is so terrible.
Sounds like it.
Most of the time, you'd be able. That's the other thing with comics. Like even if having that point of being struggling with buying, but the art is good, so it's like, not the story I like, but I don't know. But yeah, this looks good. You got these two characters having fun. After that, but yes, mainly it's really definite, like, yes, a first look, as they say. Because they're not really giving you too much here, but we know they're going to be running around in the multiverse and not messing up the multiverse like a certain other Spider-Man Anyway,
Well, again, it's yeah. I mean, look, you want to see more. The characterization is definitely carried over. You know, I love the way she shows up, and he's like, "Well, I can't go anywhere." You're like, "You're not good." It's so funny. He's like, "Wait a minute, you're gonna tell me?" She's not saying it in that manner, but she's like, "You're gonna tell me I'm here right now, and you're not gonna come out with me?"
yeah,
He's like, "I'm on punishment. Don't you think this is worth the punishment?"
yeah, that's the, that's the that's a definite young person's moment, and it's more of a teenage moment than the college moment. So,
Yep.
I mean, why would you even play that game? It's like, I'm out. I'm not. I won't be home. No, you don't even call. Like, where is he? Anywhere? So anyway, yeah. So definite recommend and check it out, y'all. Spin a rack.
Out.